Look, let me be honest with you. I credit so much of my success with being able to build a personal brand. It's how I was able to go from a teacher making $50K a year with no hopes of advancement or salary growth ever. Like, it was never going to go up. I was going to have to move a couple hours away from where I love teaching on the south side of Chicago in order to make more money. I went from being that teacher making $50K a year to now making multiple times that in my marketing career and learning marketing, being able to build my own products, communities, websites, etc. All of that happened because I built, similar to Ryan Serhant here, I built a personal brand. So in a recent conversation with my buddy Bill King, where we talked about how we were each growing our own personal brands, we also did a breakdown of Dave Gerhardt, one of my favorite marketers to follow, right? How strong is Dave Gerhardt's personal brand? Well, as soon as he left, he announced he was leaving Drift, right? He wasn't going to become their CMO. They're going to hire somebody else. Dave wanted to be a CMO at a smaller, scrappier company. He ended up going to Privy, but as soon as he announced that he was leaving, he just threw out a link to Patreon, and he was able to make a smooth 7 to 10K a month recurring revenue just by throwing out a Patreon link and kind of marketing and promoting it. And there's a ton of value there. Don't get me wrong. I'm a member. It's only $10 a month. I'll put the link in the description because Dave's a total badass. But like, that personal brand, he was able to just simply put up a Patreon link and cash in to the queue of almost 5 figures per month. If you want to know how to build a personal brand like that, how Dave built it, how Bill and how I are building our personal brands, check out this short clip. Am I stealing this? Am I swiping it? Am I modeling? Like, we use a lot of different words that give us peace for taking tactics and strategies for other people. Mm-hmm. But you know, like when Dave launched his like private podcast, I was like, why don't I have I have all this stuff I want to communicate, sending out. Nobody wants 5 emails a week, but people are down, like looking at my download numbers. I put a private podcast just for the SEO for the Rest of Us community, and like making it super exclusive and sharing all the things that I want to share publicly, but I can't for a lot of reasons. And that felt right. And I'm like, oh, there's something there. Like, private, you know, like paid podcasts, like there's some market for that. People really love that stuff. So just trying to keep like an open mind when I see somebody else doing it, not being like, oh, that's dumb, that'll never work, you know?
I think the thing that Dave cracked that I've really come to understand is there is a tremendous amount of value in building your own brand. Because if you think about his story, Dave's like super bright, but he started here as like senior marketing manager. And that is now 3 or 4 years later, the CMO of a soon-to-be announced company. And he's the package of things you want. He's willing to try new things. He's like out there putting his opinion out there. He's not afraid to fail. And he's certainly not afraid to like put himself out, you know what I mean, out there in front of people. Mm-hmm. And it's just because we are so busy all the time. Like, again, you have to start thinking about like, what is it I'm trying to achieve? If I want to be the next like leader or something like that, you can't just go execute behind the scenes. Like, you have to start thinking about like, how do I build my brand? Because that becomes a moat for your own career. Nervous about building a personal brand, and I need to do more of this. Think about it like a game. Like, SEO is a game. If you put a controller in front of it and you had it as a game in your like PS4 or something like that, you would find it to be like, you might find it to be a different thing. If you think about brand building as like as a challenge, it becomes different. Just shift your mindset to like, if this is important to me, how do I break this down into different parts, you know?
Is this the point in the conversation where I can make a joke about your website?
Please. Okay. It's broken. Yes, I'm working on it. That's my over the holidays, my goal, number one goal, is to relaunch my site. I realized I put that splash page up like 2 months ago, and I'm like, that's really terrible. I need to go and do that.
I went to it just like 30 minutes ago. What's going on here?
That's definitely, thank you for highlighting that. I appreciate that.
Fun, quick caveat. Bill's website is fixed. There's a link in the description. It's amazing. He's got a really cool website. You can check that out there. Back to the chat. As we're giving advice on personal brand. Exactly. Whatever, man. Look, BrendanHufford.com has been through such an insane evolution of there's no brand there. It's literally just me and like a weird Tiffany blue color is like the only thing that's brand. Yeah. So yeah, I feel you. And I mean, that website's been through such an evolution, and I don't know how to do web design or anything. So I just update everything live. So if I'm making a bunch of changes to the site and you're on it, you might get a real weird experience.
Let me drop something right now. My personal website is on Squarespace, and I don't care. You know why it's on there? Because I don't have a lot of time, and I want to be able to ship content and send it out and not have to like go through a ton of effort to do that. And if that like fits your like day, then do it. Whatever's easier for you to get yourself out there. Don't like stress about the design and things like that. It's like, dude, most of the most successful websites out there aren't the most beautiful, you know?
100%. Yeah. Craigslist, right? Like I think a lot, like, right. If it's Squarespace and MailChimp and, whatever, like that's it, then great. And if it's even just Squarespace, like you don't need to have this like wonderful WordPress hooked into like some sort of crazy email CMS. And do I have this hooked up and that thing? Just ship, I think, is like a big kind of takeaway for me, is like spend time learning like in a company or in a position, but also like don't be afraid to like keep shipping things.
Yeah, remove the friction. Like if publishing is the hardest thing for you, what are the things you can do to like remove that? Is it like, do you spend less time in design, or like, can you do shorter form stuff, or like would like a good example? We have a video product, not to float our stuff, but like we have this
100%.
video product. Like it's like you just can quickly record something and then just send it out. And the idea is it's making it easier for people to do those things, because people want video content. Like seeing somebody's face is just psychologically, we react to that better.
So I think there's a ton of gold in there that Bill and I shared, especially about our journeys, but also about Dave. And that's what Dave does well. That's what I do well. That's what Bill is starting to do extremely well, is just ship things, just constantly be publishing whatever you need. Even just in the last hour or so, like put a tweet out, a LinkedIn post. I'm recording these videos. I scheduled my email to go out to my list to share these videos here in the next week, right? Like just trying to ship as much as possible. I ship with typos, errors, the graphics are wrong. Sometimes the links are broken, but that volume of shipping, it's getting better and better and better, but I'm not going so slow because not everything has to be perfect. If this has been helpful for you, I just have one single call to action. Just subscribe to this channel. If you're trying to build a personal brand, don't listen to my advice. Watch what I do. Check me out on LinkedIn. Check me out if you're professional. Check me out on Instagram, what I'm doing there. Check me out here on YouTube. Whatever is the place you play. Check out my podcast, right? Look up Brendan Hufford in your favorite podcast player and listen. Like I have multiple podcasts. See what I'm doing there. Learn from how I'm building my personal brand. Also continue to follow Bill. Continue to follow Dave. See what they're doing with their personal brands. And if you want to see it from the inside, you want to see the results of this, you can join the SEO for the Rest of Us community. Just sign up brendanhufford.com/newsletter. Didn't mean to do a second call to action there, but like check out the newsletter, follow along, see how I'm sharing stuff within my intimate community. I've been Brendan Hufford. Don't forget to work hard, be nice to people, and don't get too lost trying to create something that matters. Kind of a weak whistle there. Kind of bad.